Hey, Pretty Girl Club. I just got done painting my nails a sparkly purple color because I'm about to go to the Dollar Tree and get some snacks to go to the movies with my friends tonight. But I came across this story that the male centered Kiki Palmer is back with Crustius Jackson. Why does nobody talk about the male centeredness of unambiguous monoracial dark skinned Black women, especially when it comes to non dark skinned Black men or mixed race men or white men? Why does nobody talk about the unambiguous Black women who potentially could be going past their boundaries so that they can maintain the image of having a good relationship and sexual access to men like Darius Jackson? We all know that in Blackistan, Darius Jackson would be considered handsome or whatever. Darius is non-black passing. I do not know actually what his racial background is. I actually don't even know if he is black at all. I'm not sure. He appears to be some sort of Pacific Islander to me, but people are saying that he's mixed race. Okay, so why is it that people love calling out the relationship failures of mixed race women? They'll say things like, "Oh, you got the same Black man," or they will talk about women like Erica Mena, Danny Lay. They'll talk about all of their ratchetness in their relationships. They'll talk about Cardi B and all of these other women and call them out for being male centered or getting with Dusties, which I agree with. I do believe that all of those women are definitely male centered and they're with Dusties. But where are the unambiguous Black women holding Keke Palmer accountable for the same exact behavior? So do you see how people are going to come out and probably call me colorist, racist, and anti-Black for talking about Keke Palmer going back with Crustius Jackson after he allegedly abused her? And by the way, why is it that only dark-skinned Black men can be colorist and white worshiping and worshiping anything non-Black? Why is it that suddenly, if it's a dark-skinned Black woman, there's no possible chance that she could potentially be a colorist? There's no possible chance that she could potentially worship anything lighter than her. There's no possible chance that Keke Palmer could potentially be allowing someone to treat her like shit, partially because of the social status associated with Crustius Jackson's phenotype. Why does nobody ever address that? If dark-skinned Black men can potentially be colorists, why is it that suddenly dark-skinned Black women can't be colorists? If Keke Palmer were a dark-skinned Black man and had a history of dating multiple racially ambiguous or exotical women, they would say that he's a colorist. So why is it that when I pull up pictures of Keke Palmer's exes, all of whom are exotical men, I feel kind of silly calling them exotical men, but not all of them are mixed race or light skinned, but a lot of them are mixed race or light skinned. Why is it that nobody's calling her a colorist? If you date multiple light skins in a row as a Black guy, people are going to call you colorist. So why are we not calling unambiguous Black women who date multiple light skins in a row colorists? Especially if you allow those guys to cross your boundaries and abuse you, and then you go back to them, and you're willing to be in a hypogamous relationship. Why does nobody call this out? Why are we pretending like dark-skinned Black women can't be colorist against dark-skinned Black men and only prefer mixed race men, light-skinned men, anything light, bright, and damn near white, to the point where he can slap you upside the head, he can knock you over the side of a couch, and you're good. You'll stay. Because you're a confident queen. You're such a blueprint. Why are none of the unambiguous Black women calling this out? Hey, Chrissy, remember when you said that you believe that I laugh at Black femicide? Why aren't you standing up and calling out Keke Palmer and holding her accountable for risking Black femicide with herself? She is risking her own life by going back to Crustius Jackson, who allegedly knocked her over the side of a couch. Why is nobody calling this out? Why is it that people love to focus on mixed race women, such as like Danny Lay getting kicked out in the middle of the night and laughing at her being abused, And then I come on to YouTube. I'm not even laughing at Keke Palmer's abuse with CRUSTYUS Jackson, although I could laugh at it if I wanted to. So why is it that I'm on here and I'm the only content creator at this time, one of the only content creators even talking about this and bringing up the potential internalized colorism of Keke Palmer? I believe that Keke Palmer could possibly pedestalize or prefer mixed race / light skinned men. And you can't try to give me the excuse that, oh no, that's just all that she can get. No, it's not. So you're telling me that Keke Palmer, that she's not good enough to attract whatever man she wants? She can attract whatever man she wants, right? She's a queen, she's the blueprint, she's confident, she has a nice body, she's got a career. So why don't we call out the internalized colorism of unambiguous Black women? I mean, if you want to call out colorism, let's call out colorism. If you want to call out people being biased in their dating preferences, let's call out people being biased in their dating preferences. Do you think that there is a potential that Keke Palmer could possibly put Darius on a pedestal, partially because of his phenotype? From what I remember about Keke Palmer, I remember that she used to be extremely thirsty over any man who was lighter than her. So much so to the point where even I was like, okay, this is cringy. She used to have this huge crush on Tia Mowry's husband. I think his name's Corey Hardrick. She used to have a crush on that guy to the point where even Tia talked to her about it, like saying it's kind of inappropriate, her thirst level. She had an extremely thirsty mindset towards Michael Ealy, who is another lighter skinned guy. If you look at photos of her exes, multiples of her exes are all light, bright, and damn near white. So if this would have been a Black man, you guys would have called him a colorist, right? Oh, he only dates light-skinned women. He only dates exoticals. He prefers light-skinned women. How much you want to bet there are going to be unambiguous Black women saying, oh, no, that's just her preference. That's just who treats her the best. Well, why is that not the case if a man prefers an exotical? Why is it that he only prefers us because of our skin tone? Why can't a guy prefer us because we treat a guy the best? So first of all, do you see how male-centered this conversation is? And secondly, do you see how male-centered Keke Palmer's behavior is? To the point where she is allowing a man to allegedly abuse her and knock her over the side of the couch, but she's taking him back. He's got no money in comparison to her, no status in comparison to her, nothing to offer really. But I mean, if you look at phenotypically, if you look at society and the way society is, this is a sociology channel. So if we were to judge just based on the dating market, if you were to see this guy, CRUSTYUS Jackson, if you were to see him on a dating app, the average girl would think, oh, okay, he's attractive. Especially if she's an unambiguous woman who wants to divest. This guy is passing for a non-Black ethnic group, in my opinion. I think that in some of the photos with his hair longer, he passes, in my opinion, for some sort of Pacific Islander type of phenotype. So we already know that divestors would go crazy over a guy with CRUSTYUS Jackson's phenotype. So why is nobody calling out that part of the colorism conversation? Why is it that everybody else in the Black community is a colorist except for unambiguous monoracial dark-skinned Black women? So you're telling me Black men are colorists, light-skinned women are colorists, mixed-race women are colorists, anybody who benefits from an ism is a colorist, everybody who subscribes to this channel is a colorist, but suddenly there is no possibility that Keke Palmer could potentially have some internalized inferiority complexes and internalized colorist mindsets. Because what? Because she's a dark-skinned Black woman? So everybody else in the Black community could be colorist except for Keke Palmer, who has a history of damn near every single one of her crushes or exes being lighter than her, white, light, bright, or damn near white. If she were a Black man, you would be calling her all kinds of colorists. And not only is she back with CRUSTYUS Jackson, but this guy has allegedly abused her. So she is willing to allow this guy to push past her boundaries, and she is risking not only Black femicide, Chrissy, she's risking Black femicide as well as risking her own child being harmed her little mixed race exotical baby. She's risking her exotical baby being harmed by this exotical man. So you don't think that has anything to do with the fact that potentially she could prefer an exotical? So where's your colorist talking point now? Do you see the hypocrisy? You're only a colorist if you prefer an exotical woman. You're not a colorist if you prefer an exotical man. Even if he's abusive, even if you have a horrible history with men who are exoticals, even if you date multiple mixed race men in a row, or you have a crush on anyone that does not look like yourself, you think that anyone who looks as far away from your phenotype as possible is attractive. Kiki Palmer, Simone Biles. And don't worry, I've got a video coming up on Simone Biles as well. So why is it not a problem if Kiki Palmer does stuff like this? Why aren't any of the unambiguous content creators calling this out? Especially since they care so much about Black femicide and, talking about colorism and discussing it. I thought we were discussing colorism. What happened? Let's discuss it. Let's talk about internalized colorism. Some people are even saying that Keke Palmer is potentially pregnant. So not only does she get back with the guy, but she is potentially going to have another exotical baby with this guy who allegedly knocked her upside of the head. Yet I'm supposed to believe that this unambiguous Black woman is the pinnacle of confidence and that she believes that she's the blueprint. And also the silence of unambiguously Black content creators, your silence speaks volumes because us exoticals, we see right through it. We know that a lot of you guys have an internalized pedestalization of anything that doesn't look like yourselves, just like the Black men that you guys hate so much. In a lot of cases, these groups are two sides of the same coin. In a lot of cases, unambiguous Black women who have mindsets like Paris Milan, in a lot of cases, they're two sides of the same coin, the Black men and the Black women. I'm not talking about the unambiguous people who support exoticals, who love us, who are just normal, not those Black people. I'm talking about the people who do stuff like this, who allow men to break their boundaries because that man potentially has some form of social power over her. Because, I'm thinking about it. CRUSTYUS Jackson, he doesn't have any form of power over Keke Palmer unless, of course, you're a colorist. Unless you're an internalized colorist, then he does have a form of socialized, he does have a form of social power over her in that aspect in terms of desirability. The phrase that a lot of unambiguous Black women use on YouTube all the time, desirability politics. So if you want to bring desirability politics in the conversation, then Darius has social power over Keke, and then she has an incentive to stay with him and continue talking to him. Why are no unambiguous Black women bringing that up? Why is it that every other type of Black person in the Black community is a colorist? I'm colorist, you're a colorist, your mama's colorist, your daddy's colorist. Why is it that everybody else is a colorist except for unambiguous monoracial dark-skinned Black women? And hey, I'm not even accusing Keke Palmer of being this way. I'm simply asking a question. Is there a potential that internalized colorism could be playing a role in Keke Palmer's celebrity crushes? Because you know how people say, oh, your internalized beauty standard is based on colorism. If you like people who are light-skinned, that means you're a colorist. Okay, well, Keke Palmer, according to these images that I will be showing on the screen, she has had multiple crushes that were light-skinned, multiple exes. The majority of them were light, bright, and damn near white, or very ambiguous looking like Darius. And then she allows Darius to come back into her life after allegedly knocking her over the side of the couch. So after all that drama where he said, you can't wear this outfit to the concert, you're a mom, all of this red pill rhetoric that Darius has spewed against Keke, she takes him back. And you expect me to believe that unambiguous monoracial dark-skinned Black women can't be just as colorist as unambiguous monoracial dark-skinned Black men? That talking point won't be able to fly over here, sweetheart, because we are actually critical thinkers. Okay. So we can all see that CRUSTYUS Jackson, he has no social power, no leverage over Kiki Palmer, unless, of course, you're taking desirability politics and putting that into the relationship dynamic. Then he does have some leverage, right? You know, that quote unquote good hair, the quote unquote desirable skin tone that we know that Kiki Palmer is extremely thirsty over, because she was extremely thirsty over Tia Mowry's ex-husband as well as Michael Ealy, and has multiple exes within Darius's phenotype range, and rushed to have a baby with him, and is allegedly pregnant by him again, so she can have multiple little Dariuses running around. She wants multiple exotical babies. That is her goal, potentially. What do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.